Welcome, my lovelies. Excuse me, to Mama Beyond Sight. And I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you to higher self, source, ancestors, and thank you, my new subscribers and viewers, for viewing my channel and helping me get these messages out to those that need to hear them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you are welcome to join us. You know, all are welcome. Here on Mama Beyond site, we think outside the box. Okay? And we love to share ideas and questions, etc. And that brings me I wanted to come back and answer some of the comments that were left on my last few videos. And yeah, I'm going to repeat uh, the different levels of angels and spiritual guides, etc. And then I'm going to go into the answer and give you some examples, to help out, clarify a little bit what I'm saying. So, we all know there are different types of angels. There are those celestial angels that stay with Source, and there are archangels um, that names are known. Well, some of them. I don't believe all their names are known. Some of them names are known here on earth as Archangel Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Metatron, uh, the list could go on. Um, and then there's the handful that only a special chosen few know their names, because the angels do not, or spiritual guides do not reveal their names just to everyone. Okay, so we got our celestial angels. We have uh, archangels. We have helper angels. Um, we have watchers, and that list could go on. Okay, we have love angels. We have, one day I'll just make a video about that. But then we have our guardian angel, which is born with us. Okay, as soon as we come into and we hit the air, we are born with a certain amount of guides and guardian angel, which is one. Okay, and that guardian angel, the name is not known, not to everyone, probably only to you, or it depends, on the medium, that they could do a ceremony and find out who's your guardian angel, right? Because that is possible. Then you have your secondary guide. Well, this is kind of your first guide, and you got a secondary guide that's born with you, okay, that we call a guía de labor, okay, and those guides also, they kind of were here on earth. Okay, the only ones that's never been here on earth are the archangels, celestial angels, guardian angels. Those are angelic forms. Those are angelic energy. Okay, they never had a body. Now your guía de labor, your spiritual guide, your ancestors, saints, they have had bodies. Okay. And I've heard many people say, "Oh, my mother passed, and she's my guardian angel." That sounds beautiful, but in all reality, your mother cannot be your guardian angel, because the guardian angel is someone, something that's never been in on this earth in form. Okay, not living as we do. I want to say, um, because angels do make appearance. You know, many people probably see them and don't even know what they're looking at, right? So, you got your ancestors, um, which are guides, spiritual guides, okay, and that has a platform also that is too long for this video, but that could be your mother, your cousin, your father, grandparent, even a very close friend, a dear friend. But please note that if your mother just recently died, let's say a month ago, she does not become your spiritual guide right away. No. If your mother passed a year ago, she still doesn't become your spiritual guide. You could feel her, you could sense her. Sorry about my budgies. You could sense her or him, but they have to go through a process in the spiritual world to be able to rid themselves of the earthly feelings and emotions and whatever garbage they've had, you know, held on to. They have to strip themselves they energy from that. So they go through this process, and that takes, as it was taught to me, over 7 years. Okay, then they come back and they could become a spiritual guide for you. Again, I'm not saying that they can't come back after a month or 90 days or a year, because they do. Okay, um, but they don't become your spiritual guide right away. Okay, and then you have those spiritual guides that are heavily you know, saints, as Saint Barbara, uh, Saint Mary, and on and on. Okay, and those saints have other messengers um, that help them in the spiritual world. Okay, so I'm saying that so you could understand that when you see in a awake state, you know, an angel, uh, or a ancestor, again, mother, friend, somebody, or a saint, um, the different levels of it, okay? And not everybody is an angel, okay? When you receive it in your dream, okay, usually depicts, that you're just in this frame of mind. Maybe you going through some depression or some distress. Okay, um, you need urgently help in a situation. That's when to my how could I say it? Um, that's happened to me. Um, that's when I usually see an angel, whether it's in my dream or in an awakened state. Okay, and if they gave you their names, that's wonderful. That's such a blessing. That's such a blessing. You're very close to godly conscious, you know, God conscious. Yeah. Um, but angels, if they disguise themselves as ancestors, do they use a different um they don't fool you. It's not that they're trying to fool you, but sometimes we can't, the energy is so big that we're not, our mind, our bodies, that energy is not going to we're not going to be able to with take it. Okay, for example, my grandmother, she was a Baptist. Okay, that was her belief. She God let her rest in peace. She almost, I say, a saint, you know. She was very pure heart, and she was very devoted um to the church and to society, helping out her brother and her sister. Um Sorry. And pushing goodness out into the world. Her husband died at a very early age. I think she was in her late 20s, and she stood by herself raising her children. And anywho, when my grandmother died, um, it took a while for me to see her. Um, but one day I had a dream with her, and I'm walking in this woods, and all of a sudden I see this humongous, intense light coming from this little house in the woods. And I keep walking closer to the house, and as I got nearer, I felt in my heart and soul that my grandmother was in there. So I started calling her grandma, grandma. So as I got closer, the light was so um, immense. The energy just vibrated my whole body, and that light just kind of like hugged me, and I felt, that it was my grandmother. You know, um, then I woke up, but this goes to show, how some people when they pass, um the energy they infuse. Okay, so another example, I had to have a surgery done desperately. So anyway, I was being prepped in the prep room, nurses, and I met the anesthesiologist, and I met one of the doctors, and everybody's hovering over me, preparing me for the surgery. So here I go, I'm ready, and I don't know if they do this where you're at in New York. Um, Everybody lines up uh, while you're being rolled into the operating room, and everybody wishes you good, and then they introduce themselves, so and so. So I'm being rolled, and everybody's clapping, and everybody's wishing me well, and don't worry. And at the end of the line, right near the operating door, I see this tall man. It had to be maybe about 6'8", 6'10", tall, very well built. And what astonished me is that he had like this kufi hat on, like a fitted cap, and it was green, but it was shiny, had glitter. It had a whole lot of bling bling. Excuse me. So he nodded his head. He didn't say anything. He just nodded his head, and he opened the door, and they wheeled me in. So while they putting me on the operating table, I'm speaking to the anesthesiologist, and he's fidgeting with me, and I'm saying, oh yeah, that's so cool. uh I like where's the guy with the shiny green hat? He looked around. He said, nobody has a shiny green hat here. So and at that moment I fell asleep. I went unconscious. When I woke up, um I was telling the lady, I saw the man with the shiny green hat next to me. When I opened up my eyes and I looked at him, and he had this beautiful, serene, you know, warm smile. And the nurse shook me up, and she sat me up, and she was cleaning me up. So I asked her, "Oh, where did you see there goes the guy with the shiny green hat?" And she looks, she says, there's no guy here with no shiny green hat, miss. Um, you still under the medication. Maybe you're hallucinating. And I'm like, no. I know what I saw, and when I came in, I was not on any medication. So I believe that was an angel, reassuring me that my operation was going to be fine. So they come in when you mostly need it, right? But remember that your guardian angel, your archangels, your spiritual guides only could intervene when you give them permission. Okay? You have to grant them permission. I need help. I give you permission to intervene. Okay? So maybe that's what the two angels, um, or your two ancestors were trying to assist you um, with some I don't want to say desperate, despair or anguish moment that you've been going through, you know. But that's the only time that you'll see them in a human form. And it's not for you. It's not that they're trying to fool you. It's because our minds, our body will not sustain that energy, seeing them in their true form. Another example, before the operation, I had went to the hospital a few times, and they did not know what was wrong with me, and they kept checking all my organs, and they still didn't know what was going on with me. So the doctor came and said, "Well, I'm going to do a exploratory surgery on you." And I was like, "Oh my Lord, I don't want that." So I meditated and I prayed, please, da da da, guardian angel, clarify, clear this so the doctors could see exactly what's wrong with me. So I fell asleep, and within moments I was kind of semi-conscious, still sleeping but kind of awake. I could see this big energy, this white ball of energy, almost in the form of wings, and I can't tell you 100% sure, but the energy was so amazing. But I didn't see it fully. I didn't see face. I almost saw a kind of a shape. What I did see was a roll, like if it was a piece of parchment paper, and they rolled it up. They blew something on me, and it some dust came off of me and fell on the floor. And I see that the angel tossed the paper in the corner on top of this dust. So when I came out of that trance, the nurse walked in, and she sees me bending down looking for this paper because it was actually so surreal. She said, "Jesus, what you doing? You can't do that. You have all these equipments attached to you." I said, "I just want to get the parchment paper that they left there on the floor. I don't want it to get dirty." So she went around the bed. She said, "There's nothing there." And I just had to breathe deeply and just lay back. But there's different forms that they will come to you if um you in a desperate or depression, anxiety, whatever it might be. Okay, so they do, they do, but it's not to fool you. The only ones that fool are dark entities. Okay, and those entities won't look at you straight in your face. It's like that saying that goes, the eyes are window to the soul. The demon or entities, because there are some people that die and they are so evil, they stay dusty. Okay, they would not give you straight face, and if they do, you could look at their eyes and you'll see they're not right. So um yeah, they are the only ones that will try to fool you, in coming in as a loved one, or even try to come in as the angel, you know. But again, go by your feeling, go by, um, look for the eyes, you know, note the feeling that you have, or when you wake up, how are you feeling? And journal, you know, and review, because sometimes there's hidden messages on that. Okay, but again, my lovelies, I don't want to make this video too long because I could talk about angels all day. But please note that angels and your spiritual guides, your ancestors, um, are not gonna fool you. Okay, and you have to grant them permission to assist you, because remember, we have free will, and they are not allowed to interrupt that free will unless you give them the permission. Okay, it's not only about asking for something. Okay, so my lovelies, with that, I hope I clarify your question. You know, the only time angels will appear as an ancestor is to give you a message, and it's not to fool you, you know. But many times they won't do that, you know. But if they do, I hear, try to remember uh, the names, write them down, and or your feelings, and maybe something that they said, or something in the surroundings, that sticks in your brain. Sometimes it will be a picture, a color. All of that comes into play as a message. But again, my lovelies, I love you so much, and believe that the smallest star in a dark sky shines brightly, and so do you, my lovelies. How do I love you? Let me count the ways. Yes, be kind to yourself and to others, and let's shake it up. I am your host, and my name is Sandra. Be blessed and be well, my lovelies. And come on, pucker up. Right? Smooches. Later.